No Papa today. He's in Costa Mesa with the 49ers, and in the noon hour, he'll give us an update of everything that's going on. Bay Bridge Dairies is the big story of the weekend. And this is one of my favorite people around. I've known him for a long time. Brody Brazil at Brody MBCS, pre- and post-game live on NBC Sports California for the A's. First of all, it is always great to hear your voice. You always make the day better. And second of all, I saw a picture of your son on your wife's timeline, I think.
That's creepy, by the way. Creepy. Okay.
I know. I know. The way that they came out was really weird. Is that his first school picture?
Yeah, this was his first week, dropping him off, preschool. Dude. What an experience. Not just for him, but for the parents, you know?
Oh, totally. Dude, it's so wild because my son is now a senior, and you've met him before years and years ago, and he's a senior, and so my ex-wife has every picture ever from when he started school, and he started school at a Montessori school when he was 4, and so she posted those, like all these, and I'm telling you, it goes so fast, it's going to blow your mind. It's crazy.
Patrick Marlowe's wife messaged me the other day because she saw the same picture you did, and one of her kids right now just started high school, and she said, I literally looked at his preschool photo earlier today and made me cry, you know, and then she saw ours. Time goes by so fast already, John. Like, I feel like I just became a dad. And now he's 4.
Wild.
Where has time gone? Actually, more importantly, you said Greg Papa's not with you today, so you're all by yourself. I'm here.
Yeah.
You didn't invite me in. We could have hung out.
I'm telling you, we're under new management. We have one of those signs outside of our door. We're under new management, and I have told the guy that if he doesn't get you in here on a regular basis, that we're going to have trouble. We're going to throw fists.
No, I don't even want to get
it back.
I don't even want to get paid. I just want to hang out. And I could do all the Papa impersonations you need. Oh, John.
They're the best.
I was hanging out with John Lynch the other day.
It's so good. We had some of the best. For those who don't remember, we had some of the best shows. In fact, you know what? I'm at home, and right before the segment started, I go, we are so dropping the ball right now because we're not playing any Taylor Swift into the segment. I'm like, are you kidding me? I totally forgot. We got to bring back the iPod. We got to do the whole thing.
You know,
do it all.
That was such a lightning rod segment. The Brody's iPod. I mean, what were we doing first off? But those were great times. I feel like the KNBR audience is a little bit more distinguished. They might turn away, when they hear blank space or something like that.
You know what? They told us that when we came over here. They said, "Look, it's a little different over here. It's a little more refined." And then we just brought it down into the gutter like we always did. So it's not like anything's changed. We could do it.
Congratulations. I believed in you. I always knew you could do it.
Yeah. You bring it down to that level. Of course. All right, let's get into some A's. And first and foremost, how's Chris Bassett doing?
The last I heard was yesterday he visited with some teammates, quick encounter and interaction, but that alone, right, to see him up, walking around, able to communicate. They also said, and there's not photos, and I don't care to see a photo, but taking a line drive 100 miles an hour to the face, they said his face looked like it got hit with a baseball at 100 miles an hour. So you can imagine swelling, bruising, all that, but John, to know that there was no permanent eye damage, no brain damage, that they can just do this surgery and keep it relatively routine. I mean, there's two folds of this. Number one, you only hope for the best for him in life. Like, you don't want to see him suffer a life-debilitating injury here. But selfishly, the guy was having a Cy Young conversation season. And to just have that derailed in an instant, the sixth batter of the game the other night, that happens. It's heartbreaking. It's mind-blowing. So he's doing better. That's the good news. I don't know. Timelines, it's hard to go down that road. They say 6 weeks, which is the end of the regular season. What could you expect from him? I mean, it's never to say you wish this happened in April. That's a stupid thing to say, but the timing also complicates all of this too. He's going to be back in some form. It's just how soon and what can he do and complications. And I just feel awful. By the way, I think you already know this, one of the greatest guys on that team, full of already a bunch of great dudes.
Well, and every time you see a press conference with the guy, I mean, he's just raw and he's real, and you know him a lot better than I do. But I mean, it's just he's a really cool guy. That's away from baseball. As far as on the diamond, 12-4 the 322. He's clearly their number one. So with Montas and Irvin and Mania, and I mean, how do they make up for a loss of a guy like this?
You don't, honestly. And Paul Blackburn, I mean, literally imagine the guy who filled in the rotation spot was called in that night, was flown in the day after, made the start, pitched admirably, but whether it's Paul Blackburn or Dalton Jeffries, you don't have another Chris Bassett to pull out of your hat and throw in the rotation. So, to be honest, the rotation's been solid this year, and Bassett's been a huge reason why. American League wins leader when he got injured, American League innings pitched leader when he got hurt. So this is a debilitating blow to the team, and it's not to mention that Ramon Laureano is serving his 80-game suspension. If I would have told you in spring training, hey, you're going to be down Bassett and Laureano for the final 6 weeks of your season, I would have said, oh, snap. Like, that's a huge blow. Now, the additions of Starling Marte and Andrew Chafin and Josh Harrison and Yan Gomes, those were all great. But now those don't become like adding to the puzzle. Those become necessary pieces because you lost two big ones.
Bernie Brazil joins us, and as he tweeted out, 40 games to go, 2.5 back. They are, as you point out, within striking distance of Houston at 71 and 50. And like you said, without those guys, I mean, they thought they would have those guys, and then they added. But what is Marte clearly has done a great job. Chafin is amazing. He's like, yeah, I need a boat to live on in Oakland. And then Josh Harrison's been around forever, and he's a consummate pro. So what have those guys meant to this team?
I mean, they have provided instant impact. I mean, I could go down the list. I could isolate each one of them, but I think you can also group them together here and say that they've all done exactly what you would hope for in joining the team midstream. And I think offensively is where this team needed it. It's not to dismiss Chafin. I mean, he's pitched quite well in the situations and spots and the regularity which Bob Melvin can use him in, but to have a guy like Marte hitting second, getting a knock or two a night, stealing bases like they're going out of style, play a really solid, Gold Glove caliber defensive center field. These guys have not only brought their own game, I truly feel like they've elevated teammates around them in recent times. So this honestly was David Forst's and Billy Beane's best deadline, I think, in the last 20 years. I don't know that there's even something that comes close. They've made big moves, like we could go back to 14, Cespedes for Lester, right. But I'm saying what panned out instantly. I don't know that any year has gone as good as this one for the A's front office and the deadline.
I always think about it, and I know you do too, that if the A's could keep their guys, and you and I have talked for years and years and years together and separate about the stadium issue. So I saw that you tweeted something out within the last, 15 hours? Where are they on this thing?
Well, the city of Oakland a couple nights ago published a document which basically spelled out progress had been made, and to the extent that both sides, the city and the A's, agree on virtually everything in a term sheet with the exception of funding a community fund, which they say are minor details that can be sorted out. Now, I'm saying this, I'm just repeating this. This is literally on the City of Oakland's website, but the A's have not confirmed or denied any of that yet. In fact, since the July 20th vote, they've kind of gone on the silent side. I mean, they were very much on the forefront of pushing the vote, trying to get a yes on it. It was a yes, but it wasn't on the terms that the A's pitched. So it's a very complicated situation. I'm here to say, John, of all the silence that's around this issue publicly, maybe that's one of the best things right now. I don't care if we hear about it or not. I don't think anybody cares if we hear about it every day or not. They just want to know progress behind the scenes is being made. This document indicates that. Like I said, it's only from one side and not both, but it's a really good thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. The process still has several big steps to clear, an environmental impact report, several other approvals, but there's going to be a point here sooner than later where they turn a corner on this project and it's going to happen. Like there's not going to be a magical day where one document is signed and that's it. I mean, that might be the official way, but you're going to get a read here pretty soon. I think by the end of this calendar year that this thing is for sure going to happen. I truly believe that day is sooner than later.
We're talking to Bernie Brazil. I hope so too, because again, you and I have talked about it. You've talked about it a million times, being the face on TV of the A's that you are.
A's Homer.
No, I've never called you A's Homer.
You can. It's okay. Self-admitted.
No, I don't. No, honestly, I don't think of you like that at all. I remember walking into the office constantly, and I would plop down next to you, whether you're doing Sharks and A's, and basically take up all your time. And you're like, dude, I have a job to do. But I've never called you that. But in terms of just, I don't want to see renderings anymore, and I don't want to talk about, I just want them to get it done because I'm so curious to see what the A's could be if they had some money. And they don't even have to have Yankees money. They don't need to have Red Sox money. They don't need to have Dodgers money. They don't even need to have Giants money. I just want to see them be able to marry together Chapman and Olsen in the next generation, or so that they can keep their guys, so that they can be competitive, because they're so good at doing what they do that I just like to see them have a few bucks in the coffer, and I wonder what that would look like. And I think that would improve it. A Giants fan is sitting there kind of shuddering, and I know the Giants are afraid of that whole thing and never wanted to give up on, we talked about it, but just for them to be financially committed to baseball, I think would be so cool for the entire Bay Area.
Well, imagine the atmosphere, the fan base, which is there. 35,000 on a regular basis at Howard Terminal for those visuals. And I mean, the team, good or not, in the first 5 years, so many people are going to just be reinvigorated about being an A's fan all of a sudden, because they see not just the stadium, the beautiful part, but they see the investment by the team saying, we're staying here. But to your point, and I've always been on that train of, get Chapman re-signed, get Olsen re-signed. I was kind of that way about Marcus Semien, who wasn't re-signed. But how about
he wanted to be here,
John? Even how about a situation like this? Like Starling Marte is a rental right now, but the dude fits so perfect with the Oakland A's. Like, this is a player where when you're in a different and maybe better opportunity to retain him, this is a guy you say, Starling, do you want to stay here? Kind of like, honestly, I hate to go across the bay, but it's the Chris Bryant situation. All of a sudden he says, I love it here, right? And so now the Giants go, maybe we'll find a way to make this work, So it's not just even keeping the players that they have, which they've done a great job. It's the opportunity to get somebody on a rental and say, you want to stay? We can make this work. So I look forward. It's crazy, John. I said Howard Terminal the other day is the first domino. Like, getting the ballpark signed off is great. Getting more fans to games, getting the atmosphere is great. But then to your point, getting better players, being able to kind of recruit players to say, hey, you want to play on this team, in this atmosphere? The dominoes are just going to fall once the stadium gets into place.
Do you think this is their best opportunity? Is it driven by the fact that, maybe this time if they don't get something done, they could actually leave because they were flirting with other cities? I'm not inside this thing like you are, and I don't know if that was just a leverage ploy or if that was reality, but do you think this is really the best chance of many, that kind of the boy who cried wolf? Oh, they're going to get it. No, they're going to get it. Oh, they're going to get it. Do you think this is the best chance? There's
two things going on here. First off, where the A's are at right now in the process, they have never even sniffed this close of anything else in San Jose, in Fremont, at the other Oakland site by Laney College. This is leaps. And the fact, John, that recently I'm watching a city council meeting for 7 hours, by the way, and I'm like, I can't believe, this is real. This is really happening. They're actually discussing the ballpark. Same thing with the Board of Supervisors meeting for Alameda County in June. They have gotten so far on this project, so I don't want to completely tie it to Las Vegas that it got this far. But this project itself is so far along versus anything else. So that's one part of it. To your point about Las Vegas being used as leverage, maybe at the beginning just to spark the conversation, but I also think Major League Baseball has been, kind of pushing the A's to say, explore this. And you know what? What's crazy is, let's say the A's have nothing ever to do in Las Vegas. You know what Major League Baseball is getting out of this? They're getting the opportunity to have free market research on Las Vegas, right? If they do expand, or if Tampa Bay ends up moving, or whatever. So it doesn't hurt for them to be doing this legwork and this research, if it's for the A's or if it's for anybody else. But I got to be honest, and it was reported by the Las Vegas Review-Journal that the A's actually canceled one of their recent trips to Las Vegas, in addition to this good news by the city of Oakland, which I just referred to. So it's really hard to read. All I know is balls and strikes. I don't know political measures and all that stuff, but I think we're all finding out a lot more about this process because the A's are knee-deep in it. And from the outside looking in, I see a lot of encouraging signs, especially lately.
Hanging out with Brody Brazil, it's always a good time. And one thing, there's a headline in the Chronicle today, and I'm versed and well up on what's going on with the Giants and their attendance issues, and I know why. People are talking money, and obviously it's COVID, and there's all these different reasons. But it says, can the A's recapture Oakland's love so fans can get back to being fans? In other words, did Dave Kaval in this whole flirtation, did this alienate A's fans, and if so, how much?
Look, I don't think it may have soured a couple tastes, if you will. Like it may have put a bad taste in a few mouths, but this has been a long-standing thing for A's fans. I mean, literally going back to the mid-2000s. Just wanting a new stadium. I mean, like I said, there's kind of two separate things here. There's the Las Vegas conversation, and then there's the Oakland needs a new stadium conversation. I know they're tied together, but they're really two different things. But my point is that A's fans have already been in the mode of saying, well, I don't know about the Coliseum anymore. Maybe I would go to more games. You'd see me a lot more often if there was a new ballpark. And I also think, John, you draw the line at hardcore fans, the ones that are showing up right now to the Coliseum, versus casual fans. And I'm not here to knock casual fans, but the Giants have had a lot of them over the years. Casual fans are great. That's what fills a ballpark. That's what builds payroll. This is not a knock. When I say casual, I'm just saying the people who are going to go to the game if the team's good, or if there's a Star Wars night or fireworks or whatever. But my point is that the A's have a lot of those casual fans which are dormant right now. And this is what they have to recapture by building a new stadium. So, and to your point about the Giants' attendance, I peeked at that the other day. I couldn't believe it was 17. I mean, they have the best record in baseball, and they're getting 17,000 a night. But at the same respect, John, I totally understand it given the health crisis that's not officially over by any means. And I'm not here to say I like any of that. Obviously, I want sports to thrive, but I totally understand that fans, have some reservations and are not coming out at full force. I mean, look, if they're not coming out, 40,000 strong every night like they used to at Oracle and AT&T and SBC Park, then there's a reason that that's happening, something significant.
No doubt about it. Before I let you go, because what you thought was the same thing that I thought, Elon Musk is building a Tesla bot. And you said, I'm worried this thing will be flawless, make funny jokes and all the right stats, and then replace me on post-game shows. That's what I think. They're going to take over the world. They're going to take over post-game. They're going to take over radio shows. They're going to take over the world. When he's got a bot, we're done.
Think about what it could do better than me, John. Like it could have perfect skin. It could have perfect hair. It would know all the funny jokes. It would know all the stats. Right. Sometimes I stutter. I'm like, yeah, Matt Olson was hitting 274 or whatever, and I get it wrong. Like the robot would never get it wrong. The robot is a perfect replacement for me. I see it coming already. I really do.
Me too. I read that thing today. I read the article, and I saw it this morning, and I thought, we're done. Like, humanity's done, because what happens is it's going to get smarter faster than we can get smarter, and then like that song by Porno for Pyros, we'll make great pets. I mean, I guess that's what we're going to be, right? I'll bark, I'll fetch, because the robots are going to take over. I'm very nervous.
They can work 24/7. They won't complain like you. Like, I need a day off. Yeah. They won't just. Hey, John, imagine this. Imagine if you had a Papa robot in there right now. Like you'd have to keep pouring whiskey down its throat half the show. But what I'm saying is, like, you would never be Papa-less. You'd have Tesla Papa.
Right. Just roll them on out.
Guy drives a Tesla, now he's replaced by drives a Tesla, now replaced by a Tesla. Simple as that. There you go.
Exactly. Hey man, thanks for catching up. It was great. We appreciate a few minutes. We'll be watching you on TV, and we'll talk to you again soon. And congrats on your son hitting the school, and I hope everything else is good, man.
John, my pleasure. And I do have to say, for anybody on the A's side, A's fans are listening. I know who you are the flagship station of, and I just have to say, it's really appreciated kind of seeing both sides of this Bay Bridge series. And I honestly know A's fans appreciate you taking up the conversation. So thank you.
No, I love you, man. And it's been far too long. So we'll get you in here, and I love hearing from you. It's always great. You're the man.
Thanks, Johnny.
You got it.